What is up, guys? Welcome back, or welcome to Running for Views. So today we're going to be talking about Kilian's top 5 best races of all time. If you guys haven't watched last week's video about Kilian's 5 through 10 best races, go do that and then come back and watch this video. But yeah, guys, let's get into it. Kilian's 5 best races of all time. Number 5, Sierra Zinal. This race has been happening since 1974 and races from the town of Sierra to the town of Zinal in Switzerland. This course is 19 miles long, or 31 kilometers, and has 7,200 feet of elevation gain. And believe it or not, this is a very fast and runnable course. Kilian first ran this race and won in 2009. Then he won it again in 2010, then again in 2014, then again in 2015, then again in 2017, then again in 2018. Finally, in 2019, he won and got the course record in a time of 2 hours and 25 minutes. And he still holds that course record to this day. Oh, and you thought we were done? In 2020, he won the race again, and then also 2021, he won it again. So in total, he's won this race 9 times. And this isn't some like little backyard ultra. This is one of the most competitive trail races in the world. He's raced this race 12 times and won it 9 out of the 12 times. But yeah, guys, we're starting off this list hot, and it's just gonna get better from here. Number 4. Western States 100. Speaking of hot races, we gotta put Western States 100 on here, right? You know, one of the most iconic 100-mile races in the world. The first 100-mile race in the world, you know? Western States started out as a horse race in 1955 until in 1974, a guy named Gordy Ainsleigh decided to run it. And it's been going on ever since. It has 18,000 feet of elevation gain, and temperatures can get as high as 100 degrees Fahrenheit. In 2010, at the age of 22, Kilian raced this race for the first time. And if you don't know what happened during this race, go watch the movie Unbreakable, one of the best ultra running movies of all time. But yeah, long story short, Kilian led the race with co-race leaders Anton Krupicka and Jeff Rose until about the river at mile 68, and then started cramping very severely. He still managed to come in 3rd place overall, which is just incredible. In 2011, he came back prepared and ready to win. He ran with a group of about 6 other runners until about the halfway point, when 4 of them broke away. They stayed together until the river at mile 68, where Kilian finally made his move and was able to hold them off and win the race in a time of 15 hours and 34 minutes. Kilian became the first non-American runner to win Western States, which is a huge deal. He's never gone back to Western States after that because he says that it's way too flat and runnable, and he likes to be in the mountains. Number 3, Zagama Azkori. Now here's a race that Kilian really loves. He's been racing at Zagama from the very beginning of his career all the way until present day. Zagama is a marathon distance trail race that is in the Basque Country of Spain. The race starts in Zagama, then climbs its way up into the Sierra of Azkori mountain range, where it summits the 4 highest peaks of the mountain range before finishing back in Zagama. The race is known for its crazy weather, its crazy trail-loving fans, and of course, Kilian. Because he's won this race so many times. 10 times to be exact. He first did this race all the way back in 2007, so before his first UTMB finish, which would make him a literal child. Just kidding, he was 20, but still basically a baby. In 2014, after 7 wins at Zagama, he finally broke the course record. A course record that was set all the way back in 2005 by Rob Jebb. Then in 2017, Stian Angerman stole Kilian's course record. And then finally in 2022, Kilian took back what was rightfully his in a time of 3 hours and 36 minutes, beating Stian's course record by 9 minutes. All right, so quick side note, let me know down in the comments if you think that Kilian actually even cares about getting course records. I feel like he just loves racing and race strategy and being at the front with a pack, and not really off on his own, doing his own thing, trying to get course records. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Number 2, 2022 Hard Rock 100. Now I know that I already talked about Kilian's 2017 Hard Rock race in my last video, but the one that he did in 2022 was just as amazing, if not even more so. 2017 was the last race that Kilian did before the 2022 Hard Rock 100, so when he came back in 2022, all eyes were on him. Well, on him and Francois, because they raced together for 93 miles. 93 out of the 100 miles they ran together. So basically Kilian outkicked him at the end. This race was so intense though. Dakota Jones was also in the mix from the beginning of the race with Kilian and Francois. Kilian, Francois, and Dakota were all racing together until about the halfway point when Dakota finally made a move and pushed ahead of Kilian and Francois. However, at the 73-mile mark, Kilian and Francois passed Dakota Jones, and then they stuck together until the 93-mile mark. Finally, at about the 95-mile mark, Kilian had about a 1-minute lead on Francois. And this was just over the last summit of the race. From there, Kilian gave it his all and finished the race 15 minutes ahead of Francois. Kilian now holds the overall course record for the Hard Rock 100 race. However, Francois still holds the counterclockwise Hard Rock 100 loop course record. But what do you guys think? Will Kilian come back to get the counterclockwise course record? Or like I said earlier, does he just not really care about course records that much and just wants to win? Number 1, UTMB 2022. You guys know that I had to put this race first. It was the craziest race I've ever seen. So you guys know for my number 10 pick for Kilian's best races was his 2008 UTMB race. Well, that race has nothing on his 2022 race. At the 2022 UTMB race, he did this race just 6 weeks after breaking the Hard Rock 100 course record. His 2022 race here had already been insane, so then adding the most competitive trail race on the planet to that list of wins he had in 2022, it's just mind-boggling. The race started out super fast as always, but at the 30-kilometer mark, Kilian and Jim Walmsley were the ones leading the race. 43 kilometers into the race, Zach Miller and Tom Evans caught Kilian and Jim. Then 66k into the race, Kilian and Jim pulled away again, and then at kilometer 80, Jim Walmsley took the lead. Jim continued to extend his gap until 143 kilometers into the race, where Kilian finally caught and passed him. This is when things got crazy. Kilian thought that Jim would be right behind him coming into the 149 kilometer aid station. However, it was Matthew Blanchard that came up and caught Kilian. Basically out of nowhere, Matthew Blanchard was now most likely going to win the race. However, Kilian was not going to give up without a fight. On the last hill of the UTMB course, Kilian was able to gap Matthew and then beat him on the downhill to the finish line. And thus, Kilian became the first athlete to ever run under 20 hours at UTMB. Oh, and not to mention, he did this all while having COVID. Like, he tested positive the day before the race. So yeah, that makes that win like 1,000 times crazier. But yeah, guys, that wraps up Kilian Jornet's top 10 races. What do you guys think? Did I get the order right? Is there any race that I missed? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe. And if you liked the video, smash that like button, because one like equals one more Kilian video that I'll make. Okay, bye.